Hello and welcome to Live Stream, the show where we ask you, the viewer, to join the debate. Now, the last time you went to the movies, did the cost of an evening's entertainment make you wince? Tickets and even basic snacks like popcorn and cola can set an average family of four back by at least 4,000 rupees an outing. Now, while moviegoers are justifiably angry that they have to pay 20 times the price for a packet of popcorn or a glass of cola, multiplex owners insist they have overheads to worry about. The Bombay High Court is hearing a petition that says multiplexes must allow outside food and not compel people to buy food and drink inside at unreasonable, exorbitant rates. Stern observations from the court seem to have made little difference so far in the prices of these snacks. Even the state government has stepped in, but multiplexes are adamant and say they have received no formal notifications yet. We're asking this evening, outside food, cheaper prices of snacks and multiplexes, are they good for cinema goers, but is it going to be bad for business? Well, Imtiaz joining us live from Mumbai at this point. He's at a multiplex, in fact. And Imtiaz, you know, you've been speaking to cinema goers. What is their experience currently, despite the state government taking a stand, saying multiplexes can't really ban outside food? You know, could you maybe walk in at this point with a tiffin carrier or even a tiffin box full of food? And as far as prices of snacks being sold are concerned, have they come out even come down even a little?
Well, not in all of the cinemas, cinema hall or theaters, because there are few that have gone down or decreased the price of the basic popcorn, the food or beverages. But here we are here in Mumbai, in Juhu, and let me just get across to you a few voices as to what people think about this, high prices of popcorn and or food beverages in the cinema hall. Sir, मुझे बताइए कि जो सिनेमा हॉल में हम जाते हैं और जो पॉपकॉर्न या कुछ भी लेते हैं, पानी लेते हैं, तो उसका हाई प्राइस होता है, तो उससे क्या एक आम व्यक्ति को अफेक्ट करता है?
देखो, उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा प्राइस दे देता है, घर से भी लाने के लिए कुछ नहीं देता है, यहाँ बाहर से लेके पानी का बोतल का भी रेट 90 देता है, बहुत ज़्यादा है ये। कम से कम बोतल को तो अलाउ देना चाहिए बाहर से ले जाने के लिए।
और जो प्राइजेज होते हैं जैसे कि
वो तो बहुत ज़्यादा, टिकट से ज़्यादा प्राइस तो पॉपकॉर्न और उसका समोसा का होता है।
So you heard it, and this issue in Mumbai is likely to intensify as MNS has called out a protest on 6th of August. They've threatened that they will do the protest in the MNS style is if the multiplexes don't fall in line with pertaining to the prices.
All right. Thanks very much indeed for joining us with that, Imtiaz. Let me take this across immediately. In fact, well, let's get a sense of how people in Hyderabad think about this as well. My colleague Uma Sudhir joining us from there with some voices. Uma, go ahead.
We are here at Hyderabad's Prasad IMAX. In fact, they are celebrating 15 years of this cinema going. But coming here is often very, very costly. Hyderabad is another one of those cities that has in fact said that you have to sell everything at MRP. You have come to Prasad IMAX. Did you find the rates lower? What was it like?
Actually, मैं last time आया था, like same place में movie देखने के लिए आया था. Water के लिए बाहर आया तो he's selling like 70 rupees to 60 rupees price कुछ था हो. Actually, मैं एक 1 month के बाद में इधर आ रहा हूँ मैं. It's like 25 rupees MRP rate में they are selling today. बहुत happy feel हो रहा हूँ मैं. Further के लिए भी यही prices रहना. Like हम लोगों को भी.
Good move, you think, by the legal metrology department?
Yes.
I was just coming to here. I just took the popcorn caramel. Last time it was 150 and I saw today 100. He said 100. I was shocked. I thought again पूरा सब चेंजेस हो गए शायद रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस, तो आज MRP रेट पे मिल रहा है, तो हम लोग और 2-3 एक्स्ट्रा ले लिए उसी में. तो अगर ये मूव सही हर जगह अवेलेबल रहा तो सब पब्लिक को भी अच्छा रहेगा.
तो किसी भी थिएटर में जाए तो थोड़ा कम if they allow it's better.
Yeah. Actually जो कोक वो भी है एकदम prices they reduced. Large coke was something around 150 and 170 कुछ था, अभी पूरा रिड्यूस करके 80 या 100
बाहर मिल रहा है वही रेट मिल रहा है.
या एकदम सेम प्राइस आ रहा है अभी.
So it made your movie going experience more happy.
Yeah.
Yes, so Hyderabad is certainly happy with this move by the legal metrology department, which said that all theatres, multiplexes should be selling all the products, all the snacks at in fact the MRP rate, and also popcorn, which is an open product, the weight has to be mentioned, and along with that the price. Back to you.
All right. Thanks very much indeed, Uma. So in Hyderabad, clearly there's been some difference, but in Mumbai, the jury seems to be still out. Let's, in fact, go across to both my guests who are joining us from the city tonight. Nitin Dattar, who's a member of the Cinema Owners Association of India, is with us on the show, as is Aditya Pratap Singh, who is lawyer for the petitioner in the case. Remember, the petitioner has actually moved the Bombay High Court saying, let us bring outside food if you're not going to sell snacks at cheaper prices. Aditya, let me come to you first. Why is it that you're talking about outside food rather than a rationalization of prices? People can definitely say, why charge us 100 rupees for popcorn that costs maybe 5 rupees actually, or is worth about 5 rupees. But why are you then saying let us bring in outside food?
Simple. Because it's a very good question, because my petition is filed under the Maharashtra Cinema Regulation Act of 1966. Now, under this act, it is the state government which has the power to issue licenses and prescribe guidelines for cinema halls. The guidelines and regulations can cover areas like fire safety, health, and other different areas for running a cinema hall. However, the act does not give any power to the government to control the prices of food articles inside. Therefore, our relief is very simple. Just allow the people to carry their own food inside cinema halls. This is because right to carry your own food is part of your right to life and Article 21.
Aditya saying, is that a fair demand to make? I'm just going to run you through a few responses we have got already from our viewers on this. They're asking, Rachit Saxena writes in to us saying, acid attacks are a real problem today. What will stop a jilted ex from following his ex into a theatre and endanger her life? If somebody brings something inflammable into the theatre, it would be dangerous for us all. We saw what happened when a theatre in Delhi caught fire a week ago. How do you regulate what people carry in their tiffin boxes? Somebody could bring an RDX to a movie theatre. Isn't it going to become a security and logistical nightmare?
Just look at airports. Don't you have a small X-ray scanner at airports? Have an X-ray scanner at the entrance of a cinema hall. 5-star hotels have it, malls have it. One simple practical solution will solve the problem. However, multiplexes insist on frisking because that gives them the excuse to open your bags and remove the food articles. It is a commercial exercise under the garb of security.
Okay. Commercial exercise under the garb of security.
You can carry food inside, you can carry anything inside. Any weapon, the X-ray scanner will catch it.
Okay, fair enough. Hold that thought. We have our first caller on the phone line. Chandran is joining us from Chennai. Chandran, go ahead.
Very good evening. Actually, this should be extended to all the cities in India. Because you see, we generally drop the idea of going to the cinemas because all these foodstuffs are very costly and we are not allowed to bring the outside foodstuffs. Yes. So we are forced to avoid theatres.
So you're saying this should in fact be extended not just to Mumbai multiplexes but to multiplexes around the country. Fair point. Now Nitin Dattar, you represent the other side, as it were. Multiplexes are not talking at this point, but presumably as part of the Cinemas Association of India, do you see any merit in their argument that they have massive overheads, they are operating out of malls and out of areas with very high retail rents? So, this is something that they must do in order to make profits of any kind, and that this would mean very bad business for them.
See, I feel there are 2 points here to be discussed here. One is whether the audience should be allowed to bring their own food. That is a separate issue. And the second would be what should be the prices or fixed prices at the counter. Now, I feel that when the government wants to fix the prices also in multiplexes, then they should fix the prices everywhere. In whether it is a restaurant where idlis are being sold at 60 rupees or 80 rupees, or any particular item which is affecting the general public, everything should be controlled or fixed by the government. Not only multiplexes or cinemas only. I'll just tell you about the single screens and our members, some multiplex members who are members here. At present, we are going in a very bad situation. Across India, some 700 to 3,000 cinemas have closed. In Maharashtra, about 400 to 500 cinemas have closed. We have been taxed left, right and center. There is no subsidy or no help from the government. We are paying GST, show taxes, then advertisement taxes.
We sympathize with you, but you know, the average moviegoer will still ask, why should I have to pay 100 rupees for a 5 rupee packet of popcorn? Or why should I pay 3 times for, you know, a glass of fountain Pepsi or cola or whatever, when really, if you gave me a bottle or a can, you'd be forced to sell it at MRP.
But that is what I am saying. When the question of MRP or bottled or whatever it is, whether it is a Coca-Cola bottle or a soft drink bottle or water bottle, wherever the MRP prices are there, it should be sold on that prices. I don't. I agree in that matter.
Okay, but presumably there are creative ways of getting around that. Put the popcorn in a bucket, put the cola in a glass, where there is no MRP, and then charge whatever you want.
Let the government fix the prices of popcorn. What should be the fair prices? Someone has to decide that popcorn is costly. Everyone is saying popcorn is costly. Then what should be the price? What should be the quantity of the popcorn? Everything should be fixed. Just saying that it is very costly, very costly.
Mr. Rattar, we get your point. Aditya is saying, if you want to respond to this, you know, he's saying why pick out cinema theatres or multiplexes, then fix the price of everything. Will a 5-star hotel or a, you know, top-end restaurant allow the government to determine their prices of food or drink? So, you know, why single out movie theatre?
Yes. No, first of all, we are not talking price regulation. Okay. Impose whatever price you want. Because if a food price has to be regulated,
it's come up because the court has actually said in its observations that these prices are very exorbitant.
No, I understand. But the fact remains, under the prevailing legal mechanism, the best way is to simply promote competition and allow the people to bring their own food inside the cinema halls. This will protect the right to life under Article 21, and it will also protect the right to do trade and business under Article 19. We are not asking the multiplexes to shut down their canteens.
Okay.
And
now,
further,
what do you say? What do you say, Aditya Singh, to all those who are saying, and if we can try and get some of those tweets up that we have got from our viewers, that this is going to actually be bad for business, and eventually it's actually going to just mean that multiplexes will hike the price of the movie tickets even further. Now, you know, they are at the moment getting a very hefty lion's share of their revenues from non-ticket sales. And if you're going to stop that, if even 50% of the audience start getting their own food from home or elsewhere, then that's just going to force multiplexes to hike their prices even further. And in the end, it's the cinema goer who will be the loser.
Well, I completely disagree with this. Even on a logical and practical note, multiplex ticket prices are not cheap. Evening shows go at 400, 600 rupees for a ticket, which is way more than what a single screen charges. Secondly, as far as business is concerned, even when a multiplex sells you a ticket, it is not doing you a charity. It can decide its own profit margin. Third, every business has to pay costs. Airlines pay fuel costs. A company pays rental costs. Costs are everywhere. Multiplex cannot claim a special status for themselves. And further, many coming to the argument of restaurants and clubs, a cinema hall has a separate legal classification. It is a place of movie exhibition governed by a separate law. Further, your Article 21 applies even to cricket stadiums, even to cinema halls. It applies everywhere. Third is, when I go to watch a movie, the dominant purpose of the relationship is to watch a movie. I don't go to a cinema hall to eat food. If I become hungry, I'll eat something. On the other hand, if I go to a restaurant, I go there to eat money. So a reasonable person of ordinary prudence is expected to watch a movie in a multiplex and eat food in a restaurant. So since a reasonable person goes to a restaurant to eat food, you can't equate a multiplex with a restaurant. And finally, as far as profitability is concerned, number one, all rates are market driven. Number two, today multiplex business is virtually monopolized by 3 or 4 corporates. And one more thing I need to add here.
We get your point, but we also have more callers on the line who have their questions and comments to give. Sudhir is joining us. Sudhir Reddy, we're told, from Delhi is joining us at this point. Sudhir, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Sudhir Pandey calling from Mumbai actually.
Pardon me, sir. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, what I would like to say, the price of anything depends on demand and supply. And okay, they are charging exorbitantly high price for that. It sounds little, it feels very painful also at times. But people go to restaurant, expensive 5-star hotels and all that. You cannot argue that, okay, what price you have in the outside, in a local shop, you charge the same. Because the facility and other things, ambience they are giving, that costs money. Nowadays the multiplexes, sometimes you see only 5 viewers are sitting in the cinema hall. So they have to recover the fees. And I wonder, all the things are so expensive in a long queue in front of them. There's no place. I mean, people have extra money. That's why people have money. It's all business actually. They know they can extract. If they won't have buyers, then they will obviously keep it less.
Okay, so you seem to be taking the view of the multiplexes in a sense. They have a business to run. In a 5-star hotel, you can't argue. So why should you have the option over here, as it were? Dr. Aman calling us from Singapore. Dr. Aman, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just flipping channels. I saw this debate. I was a bit surprised because I have no idea why we're moving towards a socialistic mindset where we're saying, oh, movies are a basic human right. They're not. They're entertainment. And I think pretty much a private entity should have the right to price at whatever they want. What we need to really do is make sure the regulations are followed and people are not cheated. I'm finding it ridiculous that we say, hey, the price of a popcorn should be like 5 rupees.
The argument over here, Aman, is that, this is not the market really finding a price. It seems to be you have a captive audience and you can charge them anything you like because you've banned them from sort of, operating elsewhere. It's not as though you can walk in with a packet of chips from outside, which is determined by regular market prices. So there is a certain degree of unfairness that is built into the situation. But, maybe Aditya Pratap Singh would like to respond to what Aman is saying, our caller from Singapore, that this is a socialistic mindset that we're talking about. Watching a movie is not a basic human right. So why not just let multiplexes determine at what price they want to sell snacks to you?
Yeah, now my first point is that don't try to use this as a point to attack the noble principles of socialism. Secondly, a multiplex is free to operate its canteen. Remember, Article 19 of the Constitution says, run your business, operate your business. But don't use Article 19 as a tool to throttle Article 21 and use it as a tool to guarantee your customers. Constitution is not supposed to guarantee customers for you. Third, if you are a business, behave like a business. The spirit of business is competition. Let a person, it's freedom of choice. Today, if I make a person hungry for 3 hours inside the hall and I force him to buy from my canteen, this is not business, it is coercion. Such an act can never be protected by law.
Okay, fine. So you're making the point that it's coercion. One thing we're not reflecting upon enough, I think, is the security angle. You've talked about having an X-ray machine, which is all very well for, somebody actually carrying a firearm or something into a movie theater. But what's to stop someone from bringing something inflammable in or acid in, as a viewer has just pointed out?
Yes.
You could have an acid attack inside a cinema theater if somebody brought in something like that. The moment you allow outside things, how are you going to check at every point?
No, which is why, but can this be used as a justification to put an outright prohibition? This is why the Bombay High Court told the Maharashtra government, apply your mind, come out with a policy. There will be some restrictions, no problem, because you have to look into health and safety issues also. But then, to come out with an outright prohibition, it is offensive to Article 21 because your right to life does not stop at the doorsteps of a cinema hall. And further, I am amazed by this fact, by the hypocrisy, that when the government bans beef, people claim a fundamental right to eat beef, but when big corporates ban food inside cinema halls, people jump over to the other side and say, no, they have a right to do business.
Okay, very impassioned from the lawyer of the petitioner there. Prabhakar joining us from Dubai. Prabhakar, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for bringing up this issue on TV. I think it's not only about the multiplex prices. Definitely it's very high and not affordable for the people. But there is, apart from the multiplex food prices, there are so many things in India that you go to buy and the people set the prices for what they want. Unfortunately, the ministry that calls consumer ministry is totally neutral and they don't implement anything. And that's why one of our consumer ministers, last time he resigned, because he was not aware what that ministry is supposed to do.
Not restricted. Fine, sir. We get your point. You're saying it's not really restricted to multiplexes alone, but there's a lot of pricing control that could perhaps happen. Thanks very much for calling in. We also have time just for one last caller, Rajiv, calling us from Delhi. Rajiv, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Ankita. Thanks a lot for bringing up this issue. And I'm very happy this connects to the common people of this country. So recently I went to watch a movie and that show was for 1:30 p.m. So we were all seated by 1, and from 1 to 1:30, in fact 1:40 they were showing commercials.
So you're saying
and
there were a lot of commercials.
Local commercials, they were all multinational brands. Okay. Even during the interval, they have shown around 10-12 minutes of commercials again. So they are charging all these big brands. Why can't they pass all this to the eatable items also?
So you're saying multiplexes are making a lot of money anyway from the advertisements that they're showing to you, that you're literally having to suffer when you go to see a film, and therefore why should they, in addition to this, charge you so much money for food? Well, a lot of questions, a lot of comments that have come up today. Remember, the Bombay High Court is still hearing this. The case comes up for hearing again on the 8th of August. Is there a middle path that can be worked out? Well, we'll have to just wait and see. For the moment, thank you for joining us on this edition of Livestream. Remember, we're going to keep highlighting your issues, the things that matter to you, and give you a voice in the debate. Thank you for watching.